Ladies and gentlemen, let's say the day is 13th of May, 3022, exactly 1,000 years from now. So what do you predict? Leaders would be discussing in 𝐒𝐲𝐳's panel discussion then. Okay? Good question? It's easy? So let's start with Mr. Mahendra Kanduri, CIO of the Mehta Group. Can we have Mr. Kanduri on stage with us? A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Mahendra sir, what do you think the answer is? So the day is 13 May, 3022, exactly 1,000 years from today. What do you think leaders in the panel discussion at 𝐒𝐲𝐳 would be discussing then? The day is 13th May, 3022, 1,000 years from today. What do you think in one line? What do you think leaders will be discussing in 𝐒𝐲𝐳's panel discussion then?
I hope the entire technology lets us survive by then in human forms. So that's the most important questions I would say. But if we happen to survive all the technology transformations which is happening so rapidly, I still believe we would be talking about I'm saying now, which planet, which locations, what to do and all those stuff. All those issues would have still been solved out. We just would have to think of it and then should have been done. That's how I see if we
Fantastic. Fantastic answer, Mahendra sir. Our next leader is Mr. Farhan Khan, CIO of Allied Blenders. Can we have Mr. Khan on stage with us? Till Mr. Khan gets mic'd up, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the toughest task, our moderator for the session, Mr. R N Mohanty, the President, Technology, Pidilite, Mohanty sir. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Mohanty sir, सवाल ये है, it is exactly 1,000 years from today. What do you think, in one very brief line, what do you think leaders like you would be discussing then?
1,000 years. I can tell you about 2023, 1 year from here. That also is difficult.
Okay.
The developments in the technology is so rapid that it is very difficult.
Great answers. Mohanty sir, well accepted, well accepted. Mr. Khan, what would your answer be? Would you agree with what Mr. Mohanty has to say?
No, I don't know.
Sir, noted.
Has its own set of opinion, but I believe after thousands years, we are going to discuss the existence of a human, I believe.
Wow. Wow, fantastic. And on that note, leaders, stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. It's a after lunch session. And we have two panelists who are from very, very different areas of manufacturing. Manufacturing as it is a very wide subject. I don't know how many of you are really from the manufacturing. I don't see many. During the interaction I found only few are from manufacturing. Most of them are from the other side of the technology. So we'll try to do our best. We'll start with Mr. Farhan. And he can briefly tell about himself, his background, so that people understand what he is doing, his industry and his background.
Thank you, Moses. Good afternoon, everyone. I think it's a very challenging task. After dinner, we have a session and a discussion. So, but the industry that I am working with is very interesting. So, might be give some kind of bumps to it. I'm working with the liquor industry. I'm having 15 years of liquor industry experience. Currently, I'm working with Allied Blenders. Most of people, I think, know about Officer Choice is the brand that we are into. It's well-known whiskey in India. And India predominantly is a whiskey market. If you look at the entire industry, it's a 54% market is a whiskey market. And the rest of the product like gin and vodka, the other brands is into it. Manufacturing is, we have about 40 factories all across India where we are producing our products. Liquor is a state subject. So that means every state is a country for us. And logistic, and of course, if we want to product one state and want to sell to another state, this comes under excise like import and export kind of scenario. So complexity is very high, of course, and I think during the pandemic, people have seen it is one of the industry who is supporting the economy of a country. But of course, it has a different challenges. We definitely will discuss during the course of discussion. Mohanty ji.
So, he is from the liquor industry, maybe useful during the cocktail session in the night. And so, the future of liquor industry is brightening. So that is one good thing. The MC is gone, but 1,000 years from now, I don't know where the liquor industry will be there. Okay, so can you just say what are the new things, say industry 4.0, 4.5.0, what are the new things you are doing in your industry?
Absolutely. So I think, Mohanty ji, I think we have experienced that management is now looking more on investing on a digitalization. And Industry 4.0 is also comes under it. And we also experience that the kind of industry that we are, it's basically a hybrid environment. We have some legacy equipments, legacy machines, those are working with us. And of course, there are new plants where we are coming with the state-of-art technology, which basically helping us to monitor more effectively. So this is one part of it. Second thing is there are a lot of initiative on a digitalization, as I said. So visibility, I think if anybody is going to buy a liquor, the problem with this industry or a brand is he is predefined in his mind that he is going to buy this brand. He is not going there and exploring that what all other brands are available. So quality is something which is very important. For example, if somebody a drink or having a brand of A, he cannot shift to brand B until unless there is a significant peer pressure, social pressure, or something which he is basically pays for it. So maintaining the quality, not even in single state, all across the countries that we are exporting about 770 odd countries as well, is one of the important aspects. So we are also into a process, we are checking a quality through robotic arms which are connected through ML and AI based learning. Those are basically telling us what are the effect which are coming or going into the bottles. If there is any defect which is going there, it is taking the out. Number one, digitalization. Second is the predictability. We are collecting the data from different sources and pushing back to the machine learning engine, which is helping us to predict what would be the forecast for the next 1 month or 3 months and 90 days down the line. And similarly, what would be the zero stock that we have. As I said, it is a state subject. That means we are buying our liquor to state, and state is selling further to the retailers, and retailers are basically dealing with the customers. So if you see, the marketing is also happening. It's a surrogative marketing. We are not saying, okay, this is whiskey or this is rum. We are saying officer choice water. So we are not saying officer choice whiskey. So in this case, we have a very limited access to the retailers. Digitalization is help us to understand what would be the trend that they are buying it, which brand they are buying. Either they are buying my brand or they are buying my competition's brand. They are buying whiskey more or they are buying vodka more. What are the size? Because size is also, it depends upon a sociology of a state. If you look at the South, they are more like a small size. Is predominantly we are selling is small sizes. When it comes to Punjab, Haryana, it's like drinking is a social habit. So they are buying 750 ml.
They take particular pegs.
So it's basically this analytics is something which is adding a lot of value to the forecast, to the accuracy of forecast that we have. And we all know whatever the accuracy that we have, if the accuracy is high, of course we are get rid of our different kind of cost losses that we have.
I hold you for a moment. What you discussed is about the manufacturing, and it is marketing only.
Yeah.
Marketing of the whatever digitization we are doing in the marketing. So one thing which you just touched upon, my interest is, see, the quality testing in the wine is done mainly by a wine tester, is not it? Very highly paid wine tester.
Yeah, these are the sensing.
So when you have gone for digitization, have you done to do away with this wine tester?
No, not at all, because it's a human nature. It's that's we call as a sensing.
So in 4.0, 5.0, 6.0, do you think your digitization will help you to do away with this?
I think question comes to what we are going to do after thousands years. This is one of the things which I said, human existence is going to be a big question. Sensing is something which is God has given a gift to the human. And there are master blenders who produce the blend, whether it is a whiskey blend or whether it is a vodka or rum or gin. And this blend is basically nothing as a sense and the taste buds that we have. Every human being have a taste buds, right? So those taste buds is nothing is a brand. Somebody is drinking a brand A, somebody is liking a brand B. Then there is a variation. We have a premium segment whiskey, we have a Scotch base, we have a single malt. These are all nothing is basically is a preparation of a different alcohol at a different state of environment that we have. For a digitization, as I said earlier, sensing is one of the area, but other than this, there is a bottle, the freshness of a bottle, the size of a bottle, then there is a liquor inside. If the liquor is inside, if there is any hard particle, if defect is inside, then there is a cap, whether the cap is good fit into it, whether it is preserving the nature of the product which is into it. So these kind of things is largely now going to the technologies. But sensing is something still with human as of now. But if you look at 1,000 years, of course, it is going to be some Sophia is going to become and they start testing.
1,000 years we may not drink only, you may drink something else. So this wine testing, there is a very small 1 minute I will tell. See, there is a wine tester who was going to die. Just before death, the son gave him water. He said, this is a new brand, but I don't think this is going to prosper. He never drank water. This is the first time he was taking water. And he said, this is not a good brand. That is a wine tester. Yes. Okay, so let us go to Mr. Mahendra. Mr. Mahendra is from totally new, different industry. So let us know your background, then we will see your.
Thanks, Mr. Mohanty. So my name is Mahendra, and I'm from the manufacturing background, hardcore. So presently, I'm working for the Mehta group of companies. I'm the CIO for the Mehta group of companies, and we are into various manufacturing. So in India, we are into cement, which are branded by Saurashtra Cement, Siddhi Cement. We are also into paints, which is in SnowCem. Apart from cements, the group is into manufacturing of sugar and heavy engineering in the overseas businesses. So I have rich manufacturing or completely manufacturing experience. Before this, I used to work for the Birla group of companies. So my experience, what you call it, is canvases only across manufacturing, and I have been the consumer of technology, leveraging various technologies and driving value for the business. So that's the experience that I carry.
So I ask you a question like him, which is not very positive. The cement is very new. It is invented very recently in the world scale of time. Before that, we have many joining agents in Taj Mahal, in many places, which are surviving in Egypt, which are surviving the time.
Yes.
And it is also told, not told, I have seen myself, during the large flood in Konkan, very recently there, in your IPCL there was one bridge which was made to decongest the small bridge from Shivaji's time. What happened, that bridge completely went, but the Shivaji's bridge stood as it is. So this, all the digitization, what you are doing in the cement industry, is it giving anything to the quality and longevity of cement?
Absolutely, absolutely. So maybe let me just add on to this. So cement is a commodity businesses which is heavily used and heavily regulated. So in terms of both production, consumption, and the price, it's highly regulated and very controlled. And with India getting into the whole development roadmap with its GDP plans and all those stuff, so cement will play, like metals and other business, will play a very important role. While this industry is a commodity, there was a lot of, the technology adoption was very slow per se. COVID accelerated, let me give an example of what Mehta Group had done. So in 2020, when the entire pandemic happened and completely everything got shut down, so that is when we envisaged saying that let's try and do the complete overhaul of the entire digital landscape. So we took up mammoth re-engineering of the entire process. The entire business processes first was realigned and rethought of in terms of how will the business work in the absence of people seeing face to face. And when I'm talking about everything, I mean everything, right from the manufacturing process to the sales, to the post-sales, to how do you handle the logistics part. So we had done the entire business process re-engineering, and it was a courageous decision. Usually many organizations of this scale, and again like Mehta Group, which is 100-year-old group company, have a tendency to take steps, I'm saying one at a time. However, what we did was we went big bang, and we took almost 17 large initiatives, which included a large SAP S4 implementation to the entire the entire automation of the logistics fleet management, to how I engage with my customers, how the entire customers are able to get my schemes, all those stuff. So every aspect of it was completely revamped. A landscape journey which usually takes 7 to 8 years, we have crushed it down to less than 18 months. And an organization of such a, I'm saying now, legacy, it's a more than technology, the transformation in terms of how do you do change management, it's been a great experience. And I believe that while technologies are important, how it actually adds a value to the manufacturing businesses is what actually drives value of it.
So that what you said is again marketing of the cement. In the manufacturing per se, have you done anything which improves the product?
Yes. So what we have done, let me try and give you a simple examples of it. So we have got into the entire plant optimization piece. So there are two plants in the cement. One, we have the actual processing plant, which is where the entire cement processing happen, and we have an ancillary power energy plant of it. So we have got technologies like ABB, which actually sensorize the entire plant. So everything got sensorized. We were able to get all the information real time. All the safety measures which was manually done were automated. So it was ladder-based sensing, ladder-based alarming systems, or even a closed loop where it could completely shut down a particular process part of it. We use technologies, I'll give you an example. We use technologies to, measure what sort of energy, energy inputs we give, because we are high energy guzzling industries. We use either coal, petcoke, or fly ash. So using technology, we were able to identify what is the clean temperature, what sort of input parameters are there. So that increases both my efficiency, productivity, sustainability, carbon footprints, all of them. So with this technology, we were able to do that per se.
Have you reduced the specific energy consumption?
Yes, very much. So an example was like we were having 4.5 kilowatts per ton that we were having. So we did a technology transformation where we were able to complete the entire waste heat. So when we burn this whole coal and the heat gets dissipated. So we had the entire technology where we used to again collect the heat, put it back. The entire, what do you call it as, per energy kilocalorie was reduced by almost 40%. So that is what we can say. And all of this is managed automatically with sensors. That is the interesting part of it.
So that is some digitalization in manufacturing. See if you see the automotive industry, the mileage per liter was so less, now it is increasing. Similar to the kiln, the heat is being recovered, and by the thermoelectricity, the heat which was going waste and pollute, not waste only, it was deteriorating the atmosphere. So that is being collected back, made into electricity and fed to the battery system. That is how the slowly, most of the automobiles, they improved the mileage. Similarly, the heat from the kiln and the flue gas was recovered by several methods, mostly by thermoelectric energy generation, and that went back to the system so that and that is mainly due to the digitalization of the manufacturing.
Absolutely.
Coming to this, you also say in your clicker industry, how you have improved sustainability and carbon footprint by using the digitalization.
Right, so there are two set of activities that we are into. First is we are the manufacturer of alcohol, and we also doing the bottling. So if you say the officer choice is a product that we are into, and of course in which alcohol also goes in. As per Indian law, the percentage of alcohol is 42.8 VOV, volume over volume. The alcohol that we produce, it's basically is around 94 or 95 VOV, which is not for human consumption. But when we reach to the alcohol stage, before that there is a process called the fermentation, where the yeast and all these things has been evolved and then the alcohol comes out. In this process, the carbon dioxide is generated and it goes to the environment. Now what we are doing is, in a new current scenario, we are collecting this carbon dioxide and we are selling to our dear friends Coca-Cola and Pepsi, which they use for their own brand. So the carbon which is going into the environment has been completely shut down. It is reduced to it, and it is being used for such activities. So this is one of the big investment that we have done, and of course it's one of the revenue model for us as well.
How do you think technology has played a role into it?
See, the complete process starting from the fermentation and selling is completely digitized, because we bought equipment from the German, and which has been installed and all. They have IoTs, they have connected with the SCADA systems. So we have a control mechanism, how much it is being produced, what is the stage of fermentation that we are in, because there are different stages of fermentation where the alcohol comes out. So we have a complete digitized process which help us not even to see the generation, it also see whether it is being sold or not, because it is not going to sell on time, that means the wastage is happening. So we have to monitor that, okay, this is the stage where need to take the carbon dioxide out, put it into a vehicle which is going to take it to the consuming manufacturing plant.
The carbon dioxide recovery or sequestration from the waste, from the process, is of paramount importance, and technology plays a great role in it. You take a power plant where the flue gas is full of carbon dioxide. And that carbon dioxide goes into atmosphere, spoils the atmosphere or temperature. So there are several methods of recovering that carbon dioxide by digitalization basically.
Yeah, so Mohanty, there is one more point. The gases which comes from the fermentation, after taking the carbon dioxide out, it comes like a biogas. That biogas get into a biogas engine. These generators basically produce the electricity. So one hand we are taking the carbon dioxide out, but at the same time the same gas is also going to the biogas generator, which is also producing electricity. So we are not getting electricity from the state government. We are self-sufficient on this.
So that is a good, yes, for the sustainability. As I was saying that the power plant's chimney, you can use the heat again by thermoelectric generation of electricity. And when it comes down substantially, you can take the CO2 and take it from there. There are traces of very less percentage of oxygen and argon which you can remove. And that CO2, if you take out, it can become CO2 like for Pepsi and Coca-Cola. It can be used. One major sustainability measure is it can be used in the wastewater treatment. It goes to algal development of biomass. So the CO2 goes there, and thanks to the physics, now the blue lamps which can simulate the sunlight can give the photosynthesis day in, day out. So daytime photosynthesis from the sunlight, night time from the blue light, and take it and generate biomass. And that biomass again you put as fuel like biobriquette in the boiler, which generates steam and heat. So by this the circular economy is better, and the carbon sequestration is better, and CO2 footprint is good. What remains also after taking CO2 is also of good importance. The flue gas contains only nitrogen then. So those who have used for nitrogen, they can take that flue gas, polish it a little bit, and use it as inert nitrogen in place of PSA, in place of other nitrogen sources.
Absolutely.
So it is fully utilized. The energy, the material is fully utilized. So also is in cement industry, I was talking to Mahendra the other day. They do not do a great job in jointing, because after 1,000 years again, we may have to go to the Taj Mahal type of jointing. But they do a great job in consuming the fly ash. They take fly ash from the industries. And
the other interesting thing, maybe I just thought in the context of smart manufacturing, the other important transformation that we did was the entire logistics automation. So if you see, cement is a high logistics cost business. So we actually have almost 23 to 25% of our cost been run in logistics operations itself. And it is highly unorganized sector, very limited visibility. So we completely transformed. So we leverage solutions from auto plant, where we sensorize the entire fleet management solutions, and the visibility of the entire in-plant logistics. We were able to reduce the entire turnaround time. Even the orders could only be placed if the fleet was visible in our yard. So the real-time visibility of the trucks, because many times what happens is the transporters, which is non-organizationals, they basically bluff saying that yes, the vehicle is available, and you place an order and the actual cycle time for a cement is 24 hours. So you need to ship the order in 24 hours. Many times if you do not have that visibility of trucks, you are in a panic last moment running around. So the entire yard management solutions, the in-plant logistics, the entire out-plant logistics, there were a lot of pilferages even on the out-plant. So an example was, when the order gets placed for a cement, if an order gets placed from the plant to a point A, with an assumption that it was 100 kilometers, so the cost of logistics get built into it. However, there were, I'm saying, leakages in the cost where the dealers would say, okay, drop the material at 30 kilometers itself. So there was a lot of cost leakages. So what we also did was the entire GPS-based billing solutions. So where the billing of the transportation happens only after the point of delivery, real-time locations from the source get captured, that gets billed invoices automatically. Additionally, we also incorporated the real-time proof of delivery, which was getting a lot of statutory issues. Many times, dealers would say if a cement needs to be delivered to A customer or a B customer, there was no delivery, confirmation which was getting. So we have digitalized the entire, delivery confirmation mechanism. So the entire logistics piece, which was a very critical part for us, we've completely digitalized. With a lot of cost optimizations, automations, we were able to reduce a lot of headcounts and reduced a lot of people dependency in these businesses.
So you see the future factory, cement factories, they collect sand from somewhere else, this from somewhere else, and they bring in by logistics, sell it somewhere else, logistics. What happens if cement is made where it is consumed? The future of the factories, as per my understanding, will be localization and the point of use manufacturing. Wherever you are using, you manufacture there, no logistics for the backward or for the forward material, and you consume there. It saves many things. It saves the COVID time, the outflows of these people, our labor going from this, and they were not available. All factories were shut down, labor intensive. So that is not required. So these things, the manufacturing at the point of use is a new thing which can be practiced in the future factories. The factories can be small, like size of a ATM or a washing machine, and it can produce. It can produce as much as you require for one house. So that is the future actually, future of the factory. Let us come to, so you tell me the new technology is 4.5, industry 4.5 or 5, I don't know what it is.
4.0.
The 4. So that is mainly AI and ML is what are the things which are being considered as the new things which are coming into the,
Right.
or coming into. So what is your this about AI and ML in your this, and robotics in your industry?
Right. See, robotic is already there, and it's playing a very crucial role. The reason being is it directly linked with the volume that we are producing from one of the factory. So if we are going for a new state-of-art plant that we are into, of course, everything is be taken care of. But we have certain legacy plants also. There are machines also, which basically we have to live with it. In current scenario, as on today, 2022, if you go with any project or any proposal to the top management, which is having a set of digitalization, I think management will definitely will look at it with the different eyes and different with the different value system. But 2 years back, if you go and tell them this is the digitalization I'm going to go, maybe I'm talking about 2019, they will say, okay, we'll see, dekhte hain, karte hain. But now they say, why don't you do that? So the whole system has changed in a 2 years time, because these 2 years told us so many stories which touches every human being who are here and in the rest of the world, which change not even the current process, even it has changed the futuristic approach that we have. The planning that we are making today for this 2023, I think everybody in a phase of doing a budgeting of 2023. We are also in process, which may be closed in next 10, 15 days. We are not even looking at the budget that we are making. What we are talking about, what value addition that we can bring through these new technology, which is now coming in, new edge technologies in manufacturing section, in finance section, in a marketing section, in a sales section. So these are the things now coming out. So I believe that not even me, I think every industry is going to be touched in the next 2 years down the line. Today we are talking about ML and AI, which is of course not that mature enough as the other technologies like RPAs and all. But of course, after 2 years, we are going to discuss 3D or maybe something else which is going to become. And this AI and ML is going to be new normal as cloud is on today. So that's my say.
Yeah, that is right. What about your implementation of AI? And
so I think there are a couple of aspects that we are targeting out for. So one basically is leveraging the entire AI, ML, RPA. So we have had multiple use cases where we have leveraged AI for the entire vendor, automation of the vendor invoice management solutions. The thousands of invoices that we get from various suppliers get automatically scanned in various languages. Some of the invoices could be in Gujarati and all those stuff. So automatically, and then building the workflow. So that is there. We have leveraged RPAs also for automating the entire AR or AP. I'm saying the process part of it. So those part is all there. Apart from there, what is the other areas that we've been focusing out is on the analytics piece, where we are trying to collect a lot of information, do a lot of demand forecasting, procurement forecasting. So leveraging both what we call it as SAP-based analytics platform or cloud-based analytic platform. For these are the areas that we are looking out for. The other important aspect that is driving a change is on the sustainability part of it. A very important part, because we are in an industry where there's a lot of regulations which is coming in, a lot of regulations. So in sustenance, for example, water conservations is an important part. So we have built in smart manufacturing solutions like sensorizing the amount of water that is being consumed during the entire production process. So if a temperature is X, the amount of water that gets flowed into through the sprinklers gets controlled through those sprinklers. The policy is to get into zero discharge in the next couple of years. So all the, water management solutions are being digitalized. So that is an important. The next is the entire carbon footprints. We talked about the waste heat recovery solutions, digitalization. So in the carbon footprints, ensuring that the carbon emissions are less. The third important is how do I make sure that my energy consumptions are less so that I have less greenhouse effects on all those. So this is the areas that we are focusing a lot in the next few years in the industries to come.
okay, so that is great. And we have very few minutes left. So taking the substance of the today's discussion, the future of factory is not known today, not for 1,000 years, may not be for 10 years also. The growth has been so rapid that I don't think 10 years also anyone can predict. And now we are thinking of the people who are in the future thinking role. They are thinking to know, they are looking for what they do not know, that they do not know.
Absolutely.
Nicely said.
That is what those people who are in future role, they are thinking about it. That's why when the lady asked me about 1,000 years is not possible, because we do not know about today also we do not know what we do not know. So 1,000 years is very difficult. And one thing which is coming out of very near future is what I told, which we are trying to practice in many fields. That is the manufacturing at the point of use.
Yes.
We are trying to manufacture Fevicol, white glue in the point of use. So we can give you a ATM size Fevicol plant which can serve a cluster of carpenters, or it can serve a new housing being built. We are also making the paint and the coatings from the basic raw materials at the point of use. At the point of use when you want. We also want to, we are doing the putty, the sealants, the M-seal and all at the point of use. So that you reduce the size of the plant, the footprint. With that you reduce the manpower requirement. We reduce the effect on the atmosphere, the environment, and the safety is improved. So we make the material at the point of use. I think for us, this is one of the factory of the future, which we are thinking.
Maybe I'll just add one more point. So India is looking to become the manufacturing hub of the world beyond China. And I believe digital technologies will play a big role in this journey. We are at a very critical juncture where a lot of world players are putting a lot of money, a lot of brains, and a lot of, I'm saying, efforts into upgrading the manufacturing. So we believe that the technology is there, and right from promoters to the government and to everybody believe that we can leverage and make manufacturing smarter. And that's the journey I believe in the next couple of years we will for sure experience that.
Okay, that is, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mohanty ji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.